Hey guys, welcome to my vegan kitchen. I'm Michelle. Today I have a recipe quickie. This recipe is easy, delicious, full of fiber and protein. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap on that bell and let's cook. So I thought this would be a nice, easy recipe for you guys, especially if you have a lot of zucchini on hand, or if you just want a quick and easy midweek dinner recipe, or you could use it for lunch also. We're gonna use some lentils for this and some zucchini. But before we get started, we're gonna pop this in the oven. So let me get the oven preheated. We're gonna get the oven preheated on 375. We also want to get the lentils cooked, so I'm going to measure out some lentils. And don't worry guys, I will have all of the ingredients listed in the description box below. So don't forget, because I get so many questions, where can I find a recipe? Just remember, under this video, you're going to scroll down and I'll have the ingredients listed in that description box. All right, let me give this a good wash and then I'm going to get it on the stove and get it cooked. Lentils cook pretty easy, so I'm just going to put it in some salted water and give it a couple of minutes just to soften. So we're using zucchinis, and zucchinis have become one of my favorites since, I'm on a calorie deficit. I find it's the easiest way to get a lot of vegetables because I usually just air fry them, pop them in the air fryer with some pumpkin and maybe a little bit of tofu, but I'm getting a little bored of that recipe, so I thought this would be another really good one, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Grab yourself 2 really good sized zucchinis. So I have 4 in here. I think these are the 2 largest. Yep, I think these are the 2 largest of the 4. I'm going to just give that a good wash. So once I've washed both of my zucchinis, I'm going to cut the bottom off. Just cut that little stem part off. And then I'm going to give it a nice even cut down the middle. So I'm using a big knife because I want to make sure this cut is even. Look how pretty those are. Yes. I'm going to give this one a nice cut. All right, down the center. And then I'm going to take my spoon, and this spoon has a serrated edge. This is my grapefruit spoon, or when I want to scoop out any type of fruit or veggies, because it makes it easy to really get in there. And I'm going to take my spoon, or you could just use a regular spoon, and I'm just going to scrape out the seeds. So I'm just going to get in there and just remove the center and get rid of the seeds. So once I get done scooping out all of my zucchinis, so I created a zucchini boat. Basically, try to leave enough so it's not too thin. We have to, now put the stuffing in and put it in the oven, and we don't want it too thin. We don't want to be able for it to break. So this is nice and firm. I got those all out. With the center, what I did, these are the seeds. You could do a couple of things. You could either place it in the compost, but what I like to do is save the pulp for gravy for, like, let's say chickpea curry. So if I want to thicken up my chickpea curry, I usually just use a zucchini, and this is the best way to use the inside of the zucchini because then I don't have to wait for the outside of the zucchini to cook, if that's making any sense. So I just save the pulp and I just put it in a Ziploc bag, or I should say a plastic zip bag, because this is not Ziploc brand, and I just place it in the freezer. So when I'm ready for it, it's ready to go. So I went ahead and I chopped some onion, some yellow onion, and some garlic, because we're going to season up our cooked lentils. So I'm checking on those lentils now. I'm going to pour off the water and we're going to season this up, and then I'm going to show you what's next. All right, so I've poured off the water from my lentils in that same pot. I'm just gonna add just a touch of oil, not a lot of oil, just enough to help to give it some slippage. Here are my cooked lentils. I'm gonna place that in the pot. All right. Inside of that pot, I'm also gonna add some tomato sauce. Just a little bit. We don't want to make this too wet, but we still want to give it some movement. I'm also going to add in my chopped onions and my garlic. And I'm going to give that a couple of minutes to kind of sweat out, so the onions and the garlic kind of release the flavor and the oils, and just kind of mix that tomato sauce with it. Just give it a couple of minutes. Let the heat get through it. We're going to season this up some more because there's a little bit more cooking to do. Once this starts to become cooked, this is optional. You guys don't have to do this, but I'm gonna add a little bit of spinach. I just like the flavor of spinach with the lentils, plus I think it binds it a little bit better together. And why not? A little bit more iron, a little bit more fiber. I'm also gonna season this up with some garlic powder. It's a little bit of garlic powder. And again, this is optional, but I'm gonna add a little heat to it with my Vegan Kitchen Life jerk seasoning. I feel like this needs a little bit of something, and that jerk season will give it exactly what it needs. There we go. Allow that spinach to kind of melt down with the lentils. That's actually pretty. I like the way that looks. And give it a minute to kind of cook. All right, let's check on what we got going on in here. I covered the pot, if you notice, just to allow the spinach just to kind of get rid of the frozenness to the spinach. In here, I'm gonna add a little bit of Sofritos. And for those of you who don't, this is optional. You don't have to add it in. If you don't know what Sofritos is, I grew up in the Bronx. So my Puerto Rican friends would make this mixture that was so good. Basically, it was jalapeno peppers, green peppers, red peppers, onions, garlic, a little bit of olive oil. You put it in the blender, salt, pepper, and you just blend it up. And you keep it in the refrigerator and you season whatever you want to season with throughout the week, all your meats. So now that is totally seasoned up. We're going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add a little bit of cheese. And I know I keep saying these things are optional. That's because you could just season the lentils and stuff your zucchinis, but why do that, But I'm giving you the option of adding all of these extra goodies. You don't have to, especially if you're trying to follow me and be on a calorie deficit, but I'm just trying to make it yummy, all right? All right, so now that I added some vegan cheese, and that's some vegan Parmesan, that is gonna get nice and melty within our stuffing. And that's it. See, it started to melt already. All right, guys, ready? Here we go. Get a container or oven safe dish. You can use a cookie tray if you want. You could use whatever it is that you could place in the oven and get at least 4 of these within. I added just a little bit of grapeseed oil just to give it some moisture and some slippage, but you know how it's gonna go. You take your boat, you take your lentil stuffing, you're gonna stuff it right into the center. What an easy idea, right? Stuff it right in the center, and you're gonna place it right in your dish. Grab another one, and you're gonna do the same thing over and over again until you're through. So there you have it. That's all 4. Now that you have all 4 done, take a little bit of your oil and just drizzle just on top so it's not too dry. Now, guys, you can do this. I'm not a hater, even though I eat vegan and this is my vegan kitchen. You can also do this with ground turkey or ground beef if you must, but it's such a really delicious and tasty and easy recipe. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys. So let's put this in the oven at 375 for a couple of minutes. I'll leave that in the description because I like to watch and see where it goes. I don't want to give you an exact number right now, so it's going to be approximate. All right, let me pop this in the oven and can't wait to plate this up. All right, guys, 20 to 25 minutes and they're done. That easy. So let's get them there on the side. We're going to plate these up. Whoop. All right, we're plating them up. And I like to put them in like opposite direction. Let's put this one going this way. And then this one going this way. And that's what we have here, our zucchini stuffed boats. All I'm gonna do, what you could do to make it, to dress it up so it looks pretty, you could put a little cilantro on top, some chopped green onions just to give it some greenery. But I don't have any, so we're not gonna do that. But that is a suggestion. What I'm gonna use is the Siete. I love this brand. It's nice, it's clean ingredients. This is the creamy jalapeno. Again, guys, you know I like it spicy. So I'm gonna drizzle some of this right across the top just to give it an aesthetic, a pretty look. So just like that. Plus it adds a little bit of bite. It's not too hot. And there you go. That's it. That's my lentil stuffed zucchini boats. Absolutely delicious. Guys, I hope you really try this recipe. As you can see, it's super easy to do. You could do it on a weeknight, and with summer coming, there's gonna be a ton of zucchinis. So you wanna save this recipe. So go ahead, hit that save button and save this recipe for later. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me in my vegan kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe, tap on that bell so you get all the reminders when I come out with new videos. And I'll see you again next time for another delicious, easy, plant-based meal. Bye, guys. There it is. Time for a photo. That's why I haven't dipped into it. Bye, guys.